Sponsored by Rocket Money. Well, I don't usually get personal with these videos, but this is personal. Before I drop this tactical nuke on this catfish, I'd like to introduce this series. It's called To Catch a Catfish. One of the most prolific type of scammers out there are pig butcher scams, who put on a facade of someone through a dating app. But look, the general thing that you've probably known since kindergarten, if it seems too good to be true, then it is. Look, at this point, it's 2024. Scammers use AI to do most of the work for them. In this catfish scam that I found, that's exactly the case. Now, these scammers use an AI to find images in the public domain by searching keywords, and then round them all up, save them into some kind of folder on their computer in the same way someone who's most likely registered on some kind of list would, and generate these bulk accounts on dating apps. They create these fake names and start mass-liking profiles, most likely of the opposite gender identity. Chances are, you're going to come across them. And when you do, I dearly hope it's going to be obvious. So essentially, this absolute drop-dead 10 out of 10 gives you the number of their phone in exchange for the number of your credit card down the line. Just like how these scammers spend all their sad lives doing this type of stuff on dating apps, so do I, but for diametrically opposite reasons. I'm fighting for good. But you know who's also fighting for good? The good of your wallet. That's going to be the sponsor of today's video, Rocket Money. Nowadays, online subscriptions are like one-way roads. Easy to get into, almost impossible to back out of. Rocket Money is here to help. I'm using Rocket Money to cancel unwanted subscriptions. Every time I get a notification telling me that another subscription that has just been processed over something that I didn't even remember existed, a piece of my soul every single time withers away. But not today, because with Rocket Money, I've Thanos snapped every one of those charges out of my expenses, just with a couple of taps. I'm also using Rocket Money to set budgets. If you want to retire before the year 2100, adjusted for inflation, you're going to have to set budgets. Rocket Money will show you your spending habits with detailed graphs and also send you notifications whenever you're exceeding your limits. Which, if you're like me, happens a little bit too much. And Rocket Money has saved its customers up to $740 a year if you use all of its features. That's over $500 million in canceled subscriptions, basically. And you can even unlock more features with the premium version. So if you want to spend less and save more, you can join the over 5 million members of Rocket Money by going to the link in the description, rocketmoney.com/Thetekkitrealm, and you can get started for free. So go ahead and do that for 10 years of good luck. And also 10 years of not going bankrupt. But hopefully longer than that. As I was saying, I've been making a lot of alternate Tinder accounts, spam liking hundreds of profiles so the algorithm would keep showing me mine to others in hopes of racking in these fake ones like a seasoned seaman and baiting them in for future videos 90% of the time. 90% of the time, it doesn't work, and the scammer gives up midway through. Perhaps me taking it a bit too far with the tomfoolery, or them just losing interest. Either way, the other 7 to 8% end up being too boring for a video because it's just an AI all the way through. But then there's that 2%. Ah yes, that 2% that I can milk into another one of these episodes. Look, since I spent so much time doing this, it was pretty much bound that this was going to happen, but it still blew me away when it did. I had to do a double take when I saw this one. I was looking through some of the accounts and I saw my GF's picture, an old one too, but I think this one came from something like LinkedIn. Now there are immediately two possible options of what was going down the instant I saw this, and they were both not good, but only one of them had an upside of me getting views. Yes, I had to make sure it wasn't her, so gladly I can check that one off the list of potential L's. Now, looking at the rest of the account, it looks like they couldn't have even been bothered to stick with the commitment to realism, because the rest of the images are of entirely different people, who I'm also going to be protecting the privacy of because I don't know who they are. So now you could probably grasp my frustration. Now, the name is Eleonora. Eleonora? Which, first of all, what the fuck? I'm an aspiring doctor. Love nature, beach, and God. Lives right here in the flaccid sausage of the US of A. That's where I am. No, I'm not. But this dummy account is. What is it about Florida that brings in all these catfish? All these other cities, I get nothing, but Florida, these scammers are getting in line one by one, ready to slide in my DMs looking like this even. Like, what the fuck? Height? Okay. Our midget territory, I guess, compatible with all shapes and sizes. Currently a student. Seems legit. So far everything's inaccurate, just how I was hoping. And the other pictures are kind of like, I guess they can pass for the same person on a really cloudy day without my contacts. And again, it's verified. Now this is what really grinds my gears. Like, what do you mean? Are we living in a verification badge handout society? Is this verification socialism? Bro, verification is supposed to mean you actually are who you're saying you are. Not even should it take more than 1/2 of a glance to make the decision to not verify this goddamn catfish, my guy. And look, this type of thing was all fun and games until this whole entire world population social security number leak thing happened. I was joshing around up until this point, trying to fight these weirdos. Now, look, this could have been someone's real full-ass identity, copied and pasted. Luckily, it wasn't. But it's gonna start happening. So, I'm not just sending my troops anymore. I'm whipping out the nuclear submarines. This is the Cold War now. No more of these fake minions. I'm going all in with my real identity. Now, I'm gonna be straight up honest with you. This is not a tactical situation. I'm pissed. So I put some real low effort into making an account of my own. Of course, under strict supervision of the woman's. We have to be candid. So, I set my location to the catfish's location, and then set my age to the alt account's age, because it's probably in this catfish's preferences. Yeah, I'm looking pretty damn good, you don't have to compliment me. And immediately started swiping. And frankly, it wasn't looking like I was gonna get them. I don't know what it is, but I've seen this on Bumble too and other dating apps that I use as scam bait. It's like when you're trying to find someone, the algorithm works against you. I know I came across a handful of other scammers in the process of doing this, so I'll save those for a rainy day. And I was at it for a week, with no luck. Alas, the day has come. The day I started recording this audio. Finally, my girlfriend's photo landed in my like list once more, just like the day I remembered it first happening. Seeing that LinkedIn quality about to walk into a job interview type look, it swept me off my feet. I'm just kidding, that didn't happen. But what is swept is my expectations. Swept right under the rug. Now they added a few more images. Anyway, I liked back, and I guess the same old fiasco's gotta start somewhere. Well, my. It's a good thing that you're an aspiring doctor, because I might need an ambulance after seeing those eyes. That's actually true, because it's her profile pic. Also, in real life, she's studying biochemistry, so smarter than me. And probably a doctor. And definitely this catfish. I'm not just saying that just because she's probably watching this video. And also helping me write these replies. Eleonora replied with, "Oh, don't worry. I'll be your personal nurse and take good care of you." Okay, now I'm just unsettled. Now, already plainly, you can see this is not a realistic conversation you would expect from anyone on Tinder. The more likely option is... And you'll start to notice that with these catfish, the way they talk is just not believable. But especially not if you're a man. Especially not if you're me. The reason is that there's 30 females for every 100 males on this app. If you graduated from the Prometheus school of getting ghosted, then you know exactly how this ties into the likelihood of your success. I ran this account with my name and pictures and a pretty decent bio for 2 days consecutively, with an alt account that I loaded with AI pictures of someone far more shredded and appealing than me. The pictures were generated, but I combined them into real public domain images to make them indistinguishable from reality. And Tinder's non-existent verification system. The results are in. After 2 days, I had both accounts set to the same location, liked every account that showed up indiscriminately. After doing this 100 times for both accounts, my account received 15 likes and 7 matches out of the 100 that I gave. I really gotta go outside. The more Chad version of me received 9 matches, but got 32 likes. After careful analysis, I can determine that out of the 32 likes, 7 of them were catfish. And yes, I have a keen eye for this. Obviously, unrealistic combinations of pictures and unusual names simply don't add up. But they will be added to the list. Out of the 15 likes on mine, 0. And the 50-year-old Dennis's account, after 100 likes, 0 liked back. But the account got 35 total likes, 15 of them were fake profiles. So boiling it all down, the graph looks like this. The more attractive you are, you have a higher propensity to be catfished, to a point. Then it drops off in dominance to age. The older you are, up to 50% of the profiles on this app can be faked in some way. Tinder actually does do a good job at deleting them, but most of the time, all too late. These scammers are in it to do some pig butchering. What is the takeaway of all this? If you're me, you're all good with catfish as an issue. If you're Chad, watch out. And if you're Dennis, God rest your soul. Well, anyways, do you like math? They replied, well, if we add some chemistry to the mix, what kind of equations do you think we'd solve together? Anyways, what's 5 times 7? They said, your actual age? Haha, I don't know. What do you mean you don't know? I said, you don't know? What's 3 times 3? They said, 9? I mean, good job, I guess. So obviously this reeks of ChatGPT, but it's not quite there. I think it's actually using a specialized dating app, like the ones that you download to AI generate you responses. Because the responses are so poorly delivered, they could have only been from one of those. I replied, cool. Now, what's 1 times your number? Obviously not being so easy to be picked up by me yet, they said, LOL, you stumped me. I do not know if you are the right one for me, dear. I replied in plain terms, oh, I know I am, honey. Believe me on this one. I can see it now. We'll grow old together, explore the world, then settle down in a nice suburban middle-class home in Northern California. Me coming home every day after a long shift working at the docks, you having prepared me the same dish for supper as I've grown to both love and hate. I'll walk through the door and cast you the same forced smile you developed such a disdain towards as you passive-aggressively serve me my dinner and eventually yell at me to turn down the TV, but I'll be too entrenched in my own self-righteousness to hear you. And eventually, after 18 years of neglect, the children will move out and one of us will probably start having an affair to distract themselves from the dismal train wreck of a lowly once-been fervently compassionate marriage turned sour. And when all hope seems lost and all therapy expenses have been garnished, one day I'll walk through the door and boldly proclaim, Eureka! The boss finally gave me a promotion. And you'll put on a new face of elation, and forget your previous woes at the prospect of financial freedom in exchange for continuing to put up with my very existence day after day till death or inflation do us part. That is what I see in you, Eleonora. You are the one for me. Now, give me your number, sweet cheeks. Evidently, that line of poetry was just about enough, and they said, how about we exchange numbers and continue this conversation in person, I promise. I promise I won't require medical attention. You first. I see how it is, so I sent it to them. Now this was just my alternate number, but then I said, I'm serious. I'm not in it for the short-term games, I'm in it for the commitment. Are you texting back? I haven't gotten a response. I wasn't about to get ghosted after all that work. A few days later, they responded, yes, sorry, I'm not around my phone at the moment yet. What is real age anyway, dear? Says profile age is 40. Well, how devastating that is, I guess. I said, well, I take vitamins, that's why. And I'm a late bloomer. Eleonora replied, okay. I don't think possible, just be honest. I said, I will if you will. How old are you? They said, oh, come on, I'm serious, real age, but not know if you're serious. I won't text unless serious. So there's multiple things that these scammers have in common. It has to do with using the word serious, and then also being in Florida, most particularly Tampa Bay. I know that Florida is kind of like the undercarriage of the United States. It's kind of like where all the dumb weird goes down, but I don't know why all the catfish scams in particular have to seem to be from Florida. I'm as serious as a sinusoidal rhythm. As a doctor, you get what I'm saying. And when I say it, I mean it. At that, they finally started responding to my texts. What I had first texted them was, well, now we're texting instead of Tindering. I can really get to know you. It feels like we've known each other for 1,000 years. I just can't place my finger on why. You just seem so perfect. I just want to propose already. Hello? Is this the right number? If not, this is kind of embarrassing. Finally, they said, is the right number. Sorry. Yes, I too feel the same. We are good for each other. What do you do for work in this area, sunshine? Finally, now we're getting somewhere. Well, I did work at SeaWorld, but unfortunately I slipped on a puddle of spilled soda pop and severely sprained my buttocks at the Shamu show. They said, serious? Funny. Man, they are savagely laughing at my pain and suffering. How much more serious can I possibly get? So now I work at a fortune cookie factory. It requires far less buttocks involvement like you would need in a SeaWorld-related employment. In actual fact, I write up to 5,000 fortunes a day. Sometimes I actually slip a few NSFW ones in there, but don't tell anyone that. I'm just saying, if you got some dirty fortunes from PF Chang's, it was probably me. I can even tell you a fortune right now. What is it? I challenge you to a game of Connect 4. If I win, I get married to you. If you win, you get married to me. They replied, that's not fortune. Oh, not only is it one, but it's a win-win. They said, I don't know yet. Like said, I'm only getting to know you. You are quite special man to have been through all that, since I would be terribly in anger if such things happened to me. I trade assets and equities for a living. In fact, I'm self-employed. I've been running my own office for 3 years now in Orlando, and am on holiday to lovely coast to see the sights. Do you know much about cryptocurrency? There it is. Why, I couldn't say I do. Yes, I don't much share about it with much. My own parents are from overseas, and they know much about my career as a doctor, but cryptocurrency allowed me to be independent and travel. In specific, with asset like Tether USD, you can earn good money in mining pool. I even invest my own money in one, and it gained value overnight. But it's not an easy work, as lots of time market can change, which is why I spend money careful of it. Going in university for passion, but overall intend to be independently wealthy. Impressed, I replied with, well, you seem like a very prestigious person. Maybe we can meet up together in person and talk about it. My hands often get cramps from typing on such a small screen for prolonged times, as I have stage 4 carpal tunnel syndrome. I riskily said, if you're near Orlando by the weekend, we can meet up at the Steak and Shake at 2101 Peach Street. We can go for a drive. They responded, I don't think you've been listening to me if don't understand the implications of what I just said. Damn, what an intellectual over here. I travel often, so am far from home much of time, and only do I trade frequently when abroad. My Telegram mining group works around the clock to get the best gains. I can teach you all about how staking works, and it's very profitable business for many people, or we can get to know each other more here for now. So I just cut straight to the chase and said, great! How does 4:30 Monday sound? Eleanor simply responded, okay. Great! So one day later, they texted me again, and they said, hey, I'm just wondering how you're doing. Are you still texting? If you're busy, I can speak later. No response over the weekend, and eventually they sent me this. Could be with you. And a nice stolen image. Yeah, adds up. But how about these apples? Finally, I replied to them. It's me again. Wow, it was so amazing meeting you. Our first date was so marvelous. The way you looked into my eyes as we talked about cryptocurrency and took a long walk up the beach as you explained to me everything I forgot the details of. And then we shared our first kiss. You asked me to send you the pictures I took, so I'll give you one of them here, XXOO. They replied, peak confusion, okay? I said, my darling, thank you for opening my eyes to a world I was too blind to see. I can finally feel again. They said, somewhat confoundedly, but this is not the right number, the? "What are you sending me this for?" I said, "Oh, it's the right number, honey. It's the same number that will be forever tattooed on my arm after today. We are forever together." They said, "What is this? Who is that?" Now finally, breaking the charade, I said, "Well, I reckon you know who it is because you stole the picture on your Catfish account." I said, "Eleonora, how many other people's pics have you used to make up this identity? I know you're not in Florida or the United States, and I'll bet my bottom bill that you know who I really am too." I said, "I do not know." "I think you'll recognize my voice." They said, "It's ridiculous. Don't know why suddenly you want to behave so mature. Forget it. I am not interested. If you're not serious the whole time, I'm not willing." Oh, Eleanor. You sweet, sweet, stupid thing. Look, you're caught. This is going on my YouTube channel, Thetekkitrealm. Your best course of action is to try to explain yourself and come clean. I've tried calling you, but you don't answer. Know that I'm willing to have every ounce of your information put out there. All I'm asking you is to answer the phone. I'm not requesting anything of you. So you know it already, okay, so I don't care. You should care. This is how you help yourself. Where are you really located? Let's start with that. But they wouldn't respond after that, so I was forced to call them for literally 4 hours trying to get them to answer. It was a Google Voice number, but obviously connected to their real phone. After all day doing this, I assumed I was blocked, so the next day, I used my own Google Voice number to call them back. And finally, they answered. In fact, they answered a couple of times, but I managed to get them to not hang up instantly. Hello? Eleonora, is that you? Eleonora, how's it going? I think you know who it is.
No, I don't care. I don't care.
Yeah, of course you don't. But, like, all I need to know is a couple of things, because it's going to be public for a lot of people. I could expose you real good.
No.
And, I just need you to come clean for a moment. Just for me. Just for 1 second. I need you to answer me why you're a catfish.
Anything fun of me, or as much as you want. I do not have anything to do with it.
Yeah.
No, I don't even know what you're talking about.
You don't have anything to do with what?
I don't know why you keep calling me.
Yeah, clearly you're bringing it up, so you have something to do with it.
This is none of my concern. I did not know what you're talking about.
What's your real name anyway, Eleonora?
Okay, this is not my name. I did not know why you referred to me like this. I do not know what you were talking about. This is none of my concern.
It is your concern if you're bringing it up. You're the one bringing it up.
Don't get this message. You contact this number so many times.
Yeah, because I need to know why you're being a catfish.
Stop going. I don't know what that means. I'm not aware of anything that you're talking.
Oh, that seems legit to me.
You say I am.
It's pretty convincing.
I do not know what you're saying, but I don't know what you're saying, and it is not of my concern.
Okay, yeah, sure. At least I got him on his voice on record. Eleonora sounds like a girl, alright. Who would have guessed? Other than me. So I guess this is actually another example of a video where I actually get the prize from the scammer, but in this case it's telling a girlfriend scammer that I actually got the girlfriend. Ladies and gentlemen, if I have to give you any word of advice, if you're going to use dating apps, absolutely do not respond to anyone named Eleonora. That's not even a real name. And if it seems too good to be true, it is. If they bring up the word crypto, it's fake. And this is just how it is. That's all I'm here to say today. Goodbye.